What is the value of your Pokemon cards? Let's find out. Before we can even think of a price tag, we first have to figure out what card it is that we're actually dealing with. For that, I have here 3 cards on the table with me, all from a different era throughout all of the years that Pokemon cards have been printed. But no matter what year a card was printed at, you only need 2 things to figure out what set a card belongs to. And that is the name and the numbering. Let us take Charizard here as an example. So Charizard, name suggests itself, very prominent on top of the card, so very easy. Numbering can either be at the bottom left or the bottom right. For Charizard, that will be at the bottom right. So we can see that it says 4 out of 102. That means that Charizard is the 4th card in the set of 102 cards. All we have to do now is to Google both the name and the number, and thousands of hits will pop up. Be sure to also compare your card with images available, to make sure that it is the exact same one. In the case of a Charizard, we can now tell that it is an unlimited print from the base set. Another big factor on pricing a card is the rarity of a card. And Pokemon comes with 3 basic rarities. We have the common card, the uncommon card, and a rare card. Every Pokemon card will also have a rarity symbol, so you can figure out which is which. For this we have to take a look at the bottom of the card, always next to the numbering. So for the Scyther we can see that it has a black circle, meaning that this is a common card. For Hariyama we can see that it is a black square, meaning it is an uncommon card. And then for Gengar we can see that it is a black star, meaning that it is a rare card. Of course, throughout the years different rarities have been added as well. A good example would be Starmie and Piplup. So these are full art cards, meaning that, well, the entire Pokemon card is covered. It's not just like a little square, such as with Zekrom here for instance, but instead we got the entire art on the entire card. That rhymes. The difference between these two, however, is that Piplup is a secret rare card. Now to find out what a secret rare card is, we once again have to take a look at the numbering of said card. So here we can see that this card is numbered 239 out of 236. And that is not an error or a misprint, by the way. That is just to show you that indeed it is a secret rare card. Their numbering will always be higher. Another rarity we should talk about are promo cards, such as the Zekrom right here. Promo cards are very easy to identify because they do not have a rarity symbol. Instead, they will have a black star with the word promo in it. Another good example of a promo would be this Charizard. Again, we can have a look. Promo in a star. So once again, to show the differences throughout the eras, very different, but both promo cards nonetheless. Moving on to printing, and for that, once again, 3 examples here on the table, 2 of which we have already seen. Because for cards such as Venusaur and Gengar, back in the day, because these are very old cards, we still had first edition prints. Now I have here a first edition Gengar next to my unlimited Gengar, as it is called. And we can find out, or we can identify first editions by the first edition stamp on them. See, this one doesn't have it, this one does. However, with that being said, both Japanese and English Pokemon cards no longer use first edition stamps. So the cards that you get nowadays will always be unlimited. It is just for original cards, or old cards I should say, that you can get a potential first edition. And those, of course, will be a lot more valuable. Moving on to Hariyama. I have Hariyama here with me because of something called reverse cards. Here we go, a reverse Hariyama. Now, chances are, if you've been collecting Pokemon cards for the past years, you will have quite a few of these, because they are mandatory to have 1 in every pack nowadays. Of course, the difference between them and the regular cards is that everything outside of the artwork box will be holographic. That is why it's called a reverse. Now, price-wise, they will of course be a bit higher compared to their non-holo counterparts, but in most cases the prices are alright and nothing too crazy to add to it. And that of course brings us to Venusaur. The reason that I have Venusaur here on the table with me is because of reprints. Unlike different TCGs such as Yu-Gi-Oh, which are notorious with reprints, Pokemon does not very easily do reprints. That being said though, I have another Venusaur here which is identical. Or is it? Because the one on the right has a Pikachu symbol with 25 in the cheeks, because this was a reprint for the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. Other than that, it's almost identical, but of course, things like that are a dead giveaway that this is a reprint, and this indeed is the original from the base set. Other cards that might see a reprint are often for promo sets, such as with McDonald's or Halloween for instance. But just as with the Venusaur that we saw, there will always be something different between the original to tell them apart. Now it is time to talk about probably the most important thing when it comes to pricing a card, and that is the condition. Again, 5 different cards, 5 different eras, also 5 different conditions here. We have near mint, lightly played, moderately played, heavily played, and damaged. Starting with the Toxic Rogue on the far left, this is a near mint card. Near mint to mint, a pack fresh card, let's put it that way. A card that you just pulled, that is a mint to near mint card. Meaning that everything is in pristine condition, there is nothing wrong with it at first glance, there is no scratches, there is no edge wear. It's just as good as it will get. You know, there maybe, here and there might be a little white spot as you can see here. However, that alone does not make it a card lightly played, for instance. So this right here, other than that, also you can see in the light, no scratches or anything. Very, very clean as you can get them. Moving on to this reverse Mamoswine, lightly played condition. Lightly played means that it is still very, very clean, but here and there might be a bit of edge wear, for instance, there might be some whitening, a couple of fine scratches, for instance, here and there. So, we can look in the reflection of the light. That's always the easiest way to find out potential scratches and whatnot. You can see that here, for instance, the corner. It's a bit of whitening going on there, a bit of edge wear here as well. Then the front, of course, easiest with hollow cards because their scratches will be a lot more prominent. You can see all of those minor scratches there. However, at first glance, when you see it like this, it does look to be in a new condition. So that is what we can call a lightly played card, because it is played, but only a tiny little bit. Moving on to moderately played with this Luxray. Moderately played is when a card shows obvious sign of already being played. Scratches will be a lot more prominent. Again, if you hold it in the light, quite a big scratch there. A lot of stains here and there. The corners not that pristine anymore. There's quite some whitening on the edges forming. Depressions here and there. Some couple of stains. You might see that, for instance, with the hollow cards, the edges, you might be able to tell. There we go. You can see those hollow spots coming through. So that is moderately played. It shows obvious signs of it being played, but it still is acceptable. Moving on to the Magnezone, heavily played card, so this one has seen a lot more play. Yeah, we can obviously see already a big scratch here where the hollow is coming through. A lot more smaller stains here and there, scratches, all of that. Even a little crease in the corner there, or where the hollow might start peeling off, for instance. The back, again, a lot more whitening. That's where that little crease is, for instance. Here at the bottom as well. Many scratches. There is stains, there is dirt. Heavily played card. And then, of course, as a little bonus, we have, as is quite obvious, a damaged card. I don't think I even have to explain this one. I think this speaks for itself. Damaged card, as the name suggests, it is damaged. Like with this Hitmonchan. A lot of the hollow has come off. There is a lot of damage and creases here and there. Definitely a damaged card that we have right here. Now, if you want to make sure that those cards of yours stay in that pack fresh condition, I have made an entirely different video going into detail on how to properly protect your cards. So if you haven't seen it yet, be sure to check it out because it will help you a lot in the long run. And then the moment has finally come, my dear friends. we are going to determine the value of our card. And for that, there is 3 websites that I suggest. If you're like myself and you live in Europe, you should go with Card Market. If, however, you're in the US, you should check out the website TCG Player. Besides the difference in region, the websites are pretty much the same in what they do. They will allow you to look for a card that you want to get the value on, and it will prompt you with all of the sellers selling the exact same card. Important to note is that you can also sort by different languages, as well as different conditions, which once again is very important to determine the final price. However, there is one more website that I suggest to you, and that is eBay. Not only can you look for cards that are currently still available worldwide, but eBay also offers you the option to sort by sold listings. Doing so will give you the best and most accurate idea on what the value of a card is, because these are prices that people have actually paid for them. Now, before we end this video, there is one more piece of advice that I do want to share with you, and that is that prices are constantly fluctuating. Meaning that a card that sold for $200 last year can be worth only $50 today. Or the opposite, of course. So if you do plan on selling any cards, always double check those prices. That all being said, thank you so much for watching, and we will see each other in the next video. Take care, everyone.